This video was made possible by EA Game Changers. So guys, last week I was at DICE in Stockholm, Sweden, and I got a chance to check out some of the brand new weapons coming to Battlefield 5 in the upcoming War in the Pacific DLC. And, well, one of those guns was the iconic Japanese Arisaka Type 99. But the question is it any good? Well guys, this is BillyEatWorld again, and let's find out. Alright, so to kick off, just before we start, I just want to clear up something that I just said. I just called the Type 99 the Arisaka, which is what it's commonly called by most people in the West. And I mean, that's kind of true, but it's not quite as well. Arisaka is actually the family name of bolt-action rifles, which date back to the late 1800s, and a number of different types of Arisaka were used during the war. The Japanese actually built about 600,000 Type 30s going back as far as 1899, about 3.4 million Type 38s going back to 1906, and a bunch of other less common variants in between as well. And although it never completely did, essentially the Type 99 was a larger caliber Arisaka designed to replace all of the previous types in Japanese military service. Now, one of the reasons so many First World War Arisakas ended up going into service in World War II was because it was actually one of the most reliable weapons ever produced at the time. And not just that, but unlike a lot of the European bolt-action rifles, a lot of the pre-war Arisakas came with some pretty cool features like a monopod and anti-aircraft sights. The other big reason is because even though they did end up making over 3.5 million Type 99s, Japan just never had the industrial capacity to produce enough of them. And while some earlier examples did go on to serve right through and beyond World War II, well, a lot of the later war Arisakas were actually pretty poorly made, sometimes to the point of being dangerous to the person using it. So the question is, what makes an Arisaka an Arisaka? And well, they've all got a 5-round internal magazine fed from stripper clips, and they're all based on the Mauser rotating bolt action. And like I said before, the Type 99 fires a slightly larger caliber than the Type 38, so in-game that puts it into the recon bolt action category with the typical 1 to 2 shot max damage model. In-game, it's got a base rate of fire of 58, upgradable to 67 through Specializations, so essentially it's going to be along the same sort of lines as the Gewehr M95, and not just that, it looks like it's got the same in-game stats and the same spec tree as the M95 as well. So I'd say if you like that gun, you'll probably like the Arisaka as well. With that being said though, we don't actually have the full weapon stats just yet, so it is kind of hard to say which one is the better of the two, but either way I think I'd still probably prefer to use something else. I normally prefer to use the Kar98 for the faster bullet velocity, and admittedly I'm not the best sniper, but I really did feel like I was missing a lot more shots than I usually do with this particular gun. Not just that, but with only 5 rounds in the mag, it's kind of hard to use as an aggressive sniper either. For that, you're probably still going to want something like the Enfield, but at the end of the day, it's a bolt-action rifle, right? They're all pretty similar, and look, if you're a good enough sniper, I reckon you can probably make it work, even if it isn't the best gun in the category. Now, as for specializations, well, this one is pretty easy. I think you're probably best off always going down the right-hand side and make sure you hit that machine bolt option, because, I mean, the bullet drop is decent enough that you will want to land a second shot enough of the time, and of course you want to do that before the target can start to heal up with their med pouch. Down the bottom though, you probably can play around a bit with the variable zeroing or the bayonet options. I mean, I don't really use either of those in-game, but you might prefer one or the other. And I mean, I'd probably lean towards the bayonet just because this isn't really a great long-range rifle, but at the end of the day, I don't think it really makes a huge difference anyway. But anyway, to finish up, look, I'm not going to say the Arisaka is a bad gun, but it's definitely not really a standout one for me either. It looks so iconic, especially with the scope mounted off to the side, but at the end of the day, that's probably the only reason that I'm going to want to pick this one over the Kar98. But with that being said, though, I think DICE have really got a good opportunity now to maybe bring in some of the other Arisakas, like the Type 38 carbine, for maybe the medic kit. because it's kind of hard to create recon bolt actions that feel unique. They all kind of feel the same, and well, Medic does need some more long-range options, and Arisaka's with a smaller caliber bullet probably would be, I reckon, a good fit. But anyway, guys, that just about wraps up this video. So as always, make sure you let me know what you think in the comment section down below. And just remember, I've got a bunch of footage from last week at DICE featuring a lot of different weapons. So if you want to see one of the new weapons in particular, make sure you leave it in a comment down below, and I'll make sure I try and give you that one in the next video. As always, though, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and please feel free to check out the links in the description if you want to see any more of these videos. And also, don't forget you can find my Twitter and Discord links down there as well if you want to keep in touch. And as always, until next time, see you later, and have a good one.